So I wrote this thing. It's based off a true story. I already created and posted something with like an animation to it. My dad came across it, requested I do it again. Um, so here it is. I do have a little bit of anxiety and a little bit of a twitch, which you can notice on some of the videos. This story is the reason why my dad believes is why I have it. So, it never left me, and so I wrote this because of that too, and because it's kind of a cool story. So, my mother was pregnant with me, and there was 4 men who had guns, and they robbed the house, and they tied my mom up, my grandmother, while she was pregnant. And this is why he thinks I carried the anxiety and the twitching. So. Before I ever took my first breath, the world tried to test me. Before my heartbeat learned its rhythm, 4 masked men brought hell to the doorstep of the woman who would teach me what courage tastes like. My mother, pregnant with me, carrying a future she hadn't even met yet, stood with guns pressed to the air around her, terror thick as basement dust, where they tied her and my grandmother to the cold iron spine of the stairs. They tried to break her, told her to give the code, the combination of my father's safe. Threatened to shoot, to end both lives, to silence the story before it ever began. But she stood tall, held a breath like stone, did not fold, did not whisper surrender. Even tied up, she fought with the fiercest weapon she had, her refusal. They took everything else they could, jewelry, belongings, dignity that they thought that they could steal, but they did not touch the code, and they did not touch the fire in her spine. And maybe trauma echoes through the blood. Because growing up, I carried anxiety, a twitch that stitched into me like a family heirloom. Something my father says I inherited from the stress that wrapped itself around my mother that night. But I don't hate. I wear it like a signature. A lightning bolt wired into my nerves, proof that I came into this world surviving something before I even knew what survival meant. And here's the part that people never believe, but the truth has a way of circling back. The world is small, too small to outrun the weight of your own actions. And then years later, one of those same masked men, feeling bold behind prison bars, bragged about the robbery to someone who didn't just know my father, but was close enough to carry the story straight to him. Karma doesn't need a map. She remembers addresses, and she visits in her own time. Every man in that basement crew met her, one way or another. So when I twitch, when the anxiety sparks, I remind myself I am living proof that strength is inherited. Courage is blood-born, and justice is real justice. It just doesn't miss. My life began under the shadow of 4 guns, but I rise in the light of the woman who never cracked. And the older I get, the more I realize I wasn't just born, I was delivered through fire and came out the flame.